And we are rolling, I guess. Uh, yeah. This time around, I want to talk about something that really pisses me off, which is, this whole contractual obligation thing that goes around between organizations, federations, WL, WF, BAL, UAL, IAF, and whatever, no matter what the case might be. So I kind of want to say that I'm voluntarily ignoring like half of my brain just because I want to make a statement out there, like put a statement out there, which is I don't really quite get what's this whole fuss with so many restrictions in the athletes' contracts. And not only this, I'll touch upon slightly different subject later in the video with referees and whatever, because that's something that's a lot closer to me at this moment. But I mean, I normally understand why in all sports, you know, organizations and events and whatever, in sports in general, with a lot of sports, you always have these contractual obligations, and they're gonna tear you a new ass if you're not paying attention. But see, like, this is the thing. All other sports that are doing this, whether it's NFL, whether it's NBA. Now I'm naming, both the sport and the organization or whatever. No matter what league you're talking about, or even if it's like boxing or MMA or sports where the pay grade is really high, and like sports where if you're amongst the top, you're settling yourself and your family's family for the rest of your lives. So in those sports, this makes a lot of sense to me, to you, to everyone else. But in arm wrestling, which is unfortunately at the moment still a sport that's very rarely heard of with the average Joe out there. I mean, they still consider this to be like a bar sport or some high school table type of sport. With arm wrestling, where the pay grade is non-existent for 99.9% of the guys, unless you're in the top tier, where indeed you're starting to make some money, quite good money, but nothing compared to like the millions and tens of millions and hundreds of millions that the other guys are doing and are making in boxing and basketball and football and baseball and so on. I just don't get it. I mean, unless we agree that it's all because of the greedy organizations that are trying to capitalize on the athletes' names, I don't see like the other side of the equation. Like, why would you, as an athlete, bind yourself contractually with these organizations in this way, so that whenever you're trying to kind of work your way out of the box and do well for yourself and take on different opponents from different continents and organizations, whatever, now you're all of a sudden, we have the contractual obligations. Well, you knew you had them, you knew when you signed, so why did you sign? Because to me it doesn't make sense, because as an athlete in nowadays, and I don't even want to say in 2021, in the 2000 somethings, at least 2010s, going up, I mean, what is it? Do you need marketing? Do you need public exposure? Do you need advertising? Do you need like what, PR? Because you're now living in the age of social media, you're living in the age of YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. You all know those platforms out there. So what stops you from just being a self-funded and self whatever promoted athlete. I mean, open up your YouTube channel, grow your fan base, which you already have from your actual competition. Uh, Everyone else is already on the internet. A lot of top guys, a lot of top names, they don't even have their own channels. They just appear casually on some other people's channels, whom some of them are not even competitors, which again is it's like crazy. It's like, imagine one top dog one day appearing on my channel, and I'm nobody, but let's say, who knows, maybe hopefully in the future my channel will do well enough so that it gains some traction, and you'll have this whoever top guy who will mostly appear in like 10 clips on my channel, 5 clips on this other guy's channel, and so on and so forth, just like a random scattering of his online presence. To me, this doesn't make sense. I'm not saying guys don't jump around and collaborate, because you have to do this. So you have to go on the known channels and kind of get to be a presence there. But when it comes to yourself, like, why restrict yourself and let's say legally bind yourself in such ways so that you're unable to compete cross organization? Why do this? Why does it have to be, well, we have the overall recognized North American champion, they have the I'm saying stupid shit now because I said we have in North America. Actually, I'm not there. I'm actually in Europe. So yeah, you get my point. Europe has its own champions, and we never get to know who the overall top dog is, because there are these impediments that are always there, like an unbreakable wall in between organizations. Like, why the fuck would you do this in 2020 something, or in 2010, or in 2015? Why would you do this? Like, there's something that I'm not getting from the athlete side. Again, from the organization side, don't get me wrong, it's fully understood why every organization wants to have the control over the athletes, and there's big money involved. Doesn't matter if it's not NBA or whatever. Still, there's money to be made, and people to be fed. Super. But I'm just not getting the whole thing with the athletes. And also, I mean, this has to coincide with the fact that unfortunately none of these organizations is willing to kind of have some exceptions or some rules in the contract, so that under some circumstances they can work something out. Apparently they just want to shoot everyone else, including themselves, in the foot, which I don't think is good for the sport. I don't think it's good for them financially, because they think they're gaining the money and keeping the money on their side, but actually they're preventing themselves from earning a lot more, in my opinion. So again, that's just my perspective. And before ending this video, I just want to talk about the other thing that I hinted about. I hinted towards in the beginning of the video, which was the same thing for the guys with the organization, especially the referees. Like I said many times now, I keep yakking about the fact that I'm this wannabe aspiring referee who one day will hopefully be somewhere on some bigger stages. Right now I'm just like testing the waters on a national level, but for referees, I know this was always like a big problem, and a couple of years ago there was like this whole petition that I think got discarded with referees sending like an open letter. I'm not sure what the organization was, whether it's WAF or PAL or EAL or IF or whatever. I don't remember, but it's not important. The idea is the one that's important, which was, you know, okay, let's say you have these restrictions for the athletes, but for referees, to not allow them to referee in other competitions where, like, it's not like you're a competitor and you're getting some money out of it, which is, like I said, chump change anyway. But even so, as a referee, you're basically not getting anything. You're traveling on your own expenses. You're, like, everything, accommodation on your own. Every fucking expense is coming out from your own pocket. And at the end of the day, not only are you unable to help referee other people, but for you, whatever your organization might be, it's a tremendous loss in terms of the experience that you as a referee can get by going someplace out there, elsewhere, and take part in different events, and just for fuck's sake referee, because all referees, you have to understand that referees are doing this for the love of the sport, the love of the game, more so probably than the athletes themselves, because at least for the athletes, I mean, I'm not saying that obviously everyone got into it for the love of it, but at least for the athletes there's also a little bit more incentive, which is the financial aspect. For referees, it's like zero. It's minus, not even zero, so it's on the minus side. So why would you impose such restrictions to the referees? Again, think about only just think about the experience. You would benefit so much from having your referees sorry, my voice is starting to crack up. You would benefit so much from having your referees go and referee in other events where rules are slightly different or a lot more different, and they start seeing things differently. They get to referee different people under different rules, different circumstances. There are so many variables that are different, and at the end of the day they would kind of collide inside this big bowl of accumulated experience for every one of those referees that would be able to do this. But unfortunately not. It's almost like you're doing this for the love of the game on your own money, but no, you're not allowed to benefit from whatever by going outside of your organization. That's just asinine from my point of view. And unfortunately, no matter how it would be presented, I cannot agree with it unless someone can explain it to me and possibly, hopefully, show another side of the equation that I haven't thought about, and I have yet to consider those things as well, because it's very probable that I'm just having a very simplistic view on the matter, but still, until further notice, I'll have to keep my opinion. So please, guys, if you have any thoughts on this subject, both for athletes and also for referees, which is, like I said again, it's even more nonsensical in my opinion. If you have any thoughts that could probably, hopefully, potentially steer my train of thought in a different direction, please let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, I'll try to end it up here, man, because towards the end of every video, starting to get a little crazy, starting to act up, like a fool. So yeah, I think I will need to end this video right here. Yes, because I kind of wasted your time for way too long. Ain't that right, son? Fuck yeah.